In the gleaming halls of Summit Tech Inc., nobody paid much attention to Harold. He was the janitor, a quiet man with worn shoes, a mop in his hand, and a notebook tucked under his arm. His job was to clean up after everyone else, and that's exactly what he did, day in and day out without complaint. But Harold wasn't invisible to everyone. His boss, Mr. Grayson, saw him as nothing more than a nuisance. Every day, Grayson found a new way to humiliate him, snapping at him for minor mistakes, criticizing the shine on the floors, or mocking his worn-out uniform in front of the employees. The office had long learned to laugh along with Grayson, or stay silent. One morning, the office was buzzing with a special announcement. The company was in trouble, millions in debt, and a disastrous product launch looming. Everyone was stressed, everyone except Harold, who quietly went about his work. That day, as Harold swept the lobby, he noticed Grayson storming toward the break room with his usual fiery temper. Harold kept out of the way, but as fate would have it, Grayson's coffee cup tipped over, right onto Harold's chest. The office froze, some laughed nervously. Harold wiped the brown liquid from his uniform, but instead of crying, he looked at Grayson with calm eyes. "You know," Harold said quietly, "I might have a way to fix this, but you have to trust me." Everyone laughed at first, the janitor. Trust him with the company's future? But something in Harold's voice silenced the room. He led them into the maintenance room where no one had ever thought to look for ideas. The room was filled with old whiteboards, scraps of paper, and discarded notes from previous projects. Harold had been keeping track of everything: the failed product designs, the flawed financial models, the tiny inefficiencies nobody else noticed. "This company is bleeding because we ignore the little things," Harold said, showing detailed calculations and innovative tweaks that could cut costs, improve efficiency, and even save their upcoming product launch. Grayson scoffed at first, but then the numbers clicked. The plan was brilliant, and it worked. Within weeks, Summit Tech began turning a profit. The employees who once ignored Harold now looked at him with awe. Even Grayson had no choice but to admit that he had been wrong. On the day the company announced its recovery, the CEO invited Harold to the stage, not as a janitor, but as the hero who had saved them from collapse. The room erupted in applause, tears streaming down faces, including Grayson's, who muttered, almost to himself, "I should have listened sooner." Harold smiled, modest as ever. "Sometimes," he said softly, "the person who cleans up the messes sees the solutions no one else does." And from that day on, no one ever underestimated the janitor again.